welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys, where it is time to go again. 5-0 against Real Betis, 5-0 against Royal Antwerp. Up next, it is Celta Vigo for Barça. And what can we expect from this team right now? Because the goal remains the same. We are riding a wave of confidence, of momentum, of magic in this team right now. Everything about us is on fire. And what we have to do is keep that fire burning. Keep these feelings coming. And coming up today, we are going to be discussing everything that's to come from Xavi's team. Who will make the lineup? It's exciting stuff, so let's get to it. Because I do have to say, guys, that right from the word go here, I am absolutely loving the atmosphere around the club right now and the whole feeling of the fan base. It is incredible. Ever since that Real Betis game last Saturday, the performance that we saw from the team, it has been a case of, when's the next game coming? When are we going to play next? Because we are desperate to see this team and then to follow it up in the way we did in the Champions League, to keep up this relentless spirit in front of goal for the first time in a long time. I actually love the fact that we've played 3 times in a week. You know, usually you're thinking, it's a lot of games, it's demanding, it's difficult to watch at times, and it has been, but we are loving this. We cannot wait to see us in action, to see the performance that we put on. And I think for each and every one of us, that's what Barça is. That's what we've always wanted Barça to be. An exciting team, a dangerous team. And that is what we're watching right now. Because when it does come to La Liga, we are 5 games in right now, and Real Madrid, of course, have been perfect in their campaign so far. Barça are sitting second in the table, trailing only by 2 points after those drop points against Getafe in our opening game of the season. But again this weekend, guys, we played before Real Madrid, and they are just getting by right now, aren't they? They're winning by a lot of single goal margins, plenty of late goals as well coming their way, and all that we can do, keep putting the pressure on. Every single game, every single week, win our games as comfortably as we can, in brilliant fashion, and ultimately say, over to you now. We've done our job. Look at what we're doing, and it's over to you. Because especially this weekend, Real Madrid will go away to Atletico Madrid live from the Metropolitano on Sunday, and this is definitely the time where you want to be applying maximum pressure to our biggest rivals. When it comes, though, to our opponents this weekend, it is safe to say that Rafa Benitez's Celta Vigo side have not really had the start to the season that they would have been hoping for. They have managed just 1 single win from their opening 5 games, 3 losses along the way, and that sees them right now lying in 16th place in the league table. But I think one thing that I would say here about Celta's start is that they haven't exactly been losing by huge margins. It's not as though every single game they're being absolutely destroyed. Even against Real Madrid, a lot of these games have been quite close. They are missing big chances in front of goal, and we all know, guys, deep within us here, that against Barça, Celta Vigo love to perform. Celta are one of those teams that against us, they seem to raise their game. Those chances, they'll put away against us, and we've got to be wary of that. We have to make absolutely sure here that we do not take this game lightly, that we have full focus, and we continue the path that we've been on. However, guys, this is where it gets quite interesting indeed, because despite everything I've just said there, I do still wonder whether, ahead of this game against Celta, the 3rd home game in a row for us, could this be the game where Xavi makes a few more rotations? Could he be looking at this one? And I say that because this is our 3rd game in a week, of course. We've mentioned that. It's a lot of football in a short space of time. But also when you're looking at our upcoming fixtures here, is this a good opportunity to make a few changes here and there? Because we're at home against a struggling Celta team. Up next we have Mallorca away on Tuesday there. And then right after that, in such quick succession, it's a Sevilla game. And then after that, away at Porto in the Champions League. So some tricky games coming, more difficult, more challenging games perhaps, and I do just wonder here whether Xavi will just try to keep things fresh and make a few alterations to the teams that we've seen over the past 2 games, just to make sure that everybody does feel important, that everybody knows they have a part to play in the many, many games we have to come. Keeping that squad hungry, keeping that squad motivated, everyone, is very important. So okay then, guys, looking at the defensive defensive side of our team first. I am a big believer, especially when it comes to that defensive line, that if you are going to rotate, if you're going to make a few changes, you do it carefully in defence. Because you don't want to be shredding that defensive line. You don't want to be taking out the whole back line or 3 out of the 4. You want to make carefully considered changes to keep some continuity going. You're looking at centre-back there. Joao, of course, he's returned to training. He's looking to return there to the team. But at centre-back, there's so much quality right now. Koundé's been outstanding. Christensen has been outstanding. So it's very difficult already to see who's going to be the favoured duo at centre-back. And of course, this is a nice problem to have. You've also got Inigo Martinez there, who's waiting for his chance too. He has been now for several games. And the level of quality depth at centre-back is absolutely extraordinary. And this is what we have been striving for many years. And at full-back, it's a big decision too, because we know how important Joao Cancelo has been, not only to our defensive line, as we discussed, but also to the whole of our team. You don't really want to take him out, but can he play 3 games? Can he start 3 games in just 1 week? And it's the same situation there for Alejandro Balde. So key on the left-hand side. He played the full game on Tuesday against Antwerp, and which of the two there at full-back, Cancelo or Balde, could be sacrificed in this game? And then there's midfield, another area with so much competition, so much quality in it, and you're looking there, I'd say, at Frenkie de Jong. He's probably the player who's played the most football. You'd think, okay, maybe he could be the man rotated, but don't forget, he was subbed off after just 58 minutes against Antwerp. We were able to give him a really good amount of rest there. He got a breather in that game, and as a result of that, does he need to rest in this one, or will he be ready again to go from the start? And I still believe, guys, one of the biggest debates right now about the line, about the team, it comes at right wing, because you're looking there at Rafinha. Does he keep his place in the team? He came in, started against Antwerp, he got a great assist for the 5th goal, and also had a hand, of course, in the 3rd too, and I thought he looked really dangerous on that right side. But waiting in the wings, you've still got Ferran. He started against Betis, played really well in that game, but then he lost his place in midweek. Will he win it back? Will he get another opportunity here to shine? We know the kind of attitude that he has right now. We know how hard he's working to be involved. Will Ferran start the game? And we cannot forget about Lamine Yamal, because he hasn't started either of the past 2 games since the international break, which in a way, guys, I'm just wondering here, might that help him? Because I think given what we saw from him before the break, how good he was, how incredibly he was performing, and then to go away with Spain and impress there as well, the hype then, all of the talk around him, it was getting a lot. The expectation was skyrocketing around Lamine Yamal, and just right now to take him out of the firing line, out of the spotlight a little bit, that might just help calm things down and just make sure he's developing and progressing in the right way. But of course, we want to keep seeing him. We definitely want to keep including him and giving him minutes, because he is such an exciting player. But if I did have to pick my own team right now and just make a few careful changes, this is the way that I would look to do it if I was Xavi on Saturday. Ter Stegen, of course, has to start. So consistent, so brilliant he has been. Along the back line then, I would stick with Cancelo. If we can, keep him in the team if we're able to. Christensen alongside him. Then I would put Inigo Martinez in the team, and maybe then that would be it. I'd just make the one change in defence. Don't disrupt things too much. I'd try and leave the full-backs there if you can. I think if you are going to change the full-backs, only one of them. Never really should it be Alonso and Roberto together. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Alonso here. I've got to say that. I think Balde may indeed be rotated, but if possible, keep as much of it together as you can. And you can change as the game goes on. So maybe then bring Araujo on. You could do that, bring him on later in the game, ease him back in very slowly, because we don't want to take any risk for him, especially right now. It would be unnecessary to just throw him back in and make him start a game if he wasn't quite ready, so bring him in as slowly as we need to. In midfield, I think Oriol Romeu deserves to come back in. He's somebody who's been so reliable so far this season, but then who drops out of that midfield? Maybe right now I would play Frenkie alongside Oriol there, 2 of them sort of holding and anchoring when needed in that midfield, and then Gundogan, push him on again. We saw him in the game against Antwerp, nice and high in the field, combining there with Lewandowski, with Joao Felix, and I would like to see that combination again. Romeu, Frenkie, Gundogan advanced, Xavi there dropping to the bench and getting a bit of rest. We know how much he works, you know how much he gives every single game, so that will not hurt him. And I would also like to see at some stage again Fermin Lopez coming on. He came on against Antwerp, did well. I thought he looked lively, and I would like to see more of him. And then in the front line, again, I tried to keep things as consistent as we can. Lewandowski still starting. Joao Felix, hopefully, he's going to be okay to start another game. He got a bit of rest against Antwerp. And then I do believe Ferran might come back in on the right side, simply because I think his skill set could work in this game against a Celta Vigo defence that are going to defend deep. There's not going to be too much space, you'd imagine. Ferran in those tight spaces may be able to help us. So that there would be the team that I would opt for. And I just think right now, guys, once again, the key for me, just like we said against Antwerp, is start as strongly as we possibly can. You know, maybe make a few changes, but overall, keep the core of that team together, because then you can get ahead in the game. You can start strongly, you can score early goals, and then later on, you can make more changes. With the 5 changes that we're allowed, we can still make some good rotation as the game goes on, but start strong. Keep this momentum going. Keep this confidence burning, because this team right now is simply unstoppable. And that is why, guys, as you can see right here, we are in confident mood ahead of this one, because plenty of people again believing that Barça are going to win by 3+ goals. Our last games, 5-0, 5-0. I mean, there's going to come a point of this season, if we continue like this, I'm going to have to change my options, because in the predictions, I can only ever choose 5 different outcomes. I'm going to have to start boosting these numbers up. You know, 5 may not be enough if we continue in this manner, but I just hope we see the same from Barça, the same hunger, the same energy, the intensity about our play, and our attacking play especially. That is what I want to see, and do let me know, guys, in the comments down below what you expect from Barça here. What would your team be? What changes would you make? Are there any rotations that we haven't discussed that you would like to see take effect? And hopefully we can celebrate once again on Saturday at the Olympic Stadium. I will see you then, guys, for all of the reaction. Thank you indeed for getting involved, and for all of your energy right now. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.